they have this way of mixing English and Latvian, and you can see that obviously that there's all the American TV, British TV available, that they even pick the right accent as well. That's not that our teachers taught it at the school that's a Russian English. We effectively learned that, my name is Tatiana and we speak English, but no, it's all changed. I'd say that American students very easily would get by knowing only English. However, everyone appreciates if you can say a couple of words in the native language as well. But at the uni, we offer them one semester. It's introductory Latvian, so they learn how to say hello, what's your name? My name is so and so, I come from America.
How do I order a beer? Those sorts of really important
that they
questions.
will learn without the university, I'm sure of that. But some basics we teach as well. We tell them a bit of history and culture so that they understand, because it is a multicultural environment here due to as well the history and the Soviet period, that we have many Russian speakers here. So in many cases, knowing only Latvian, you can't get very far. You need to know Russian as well. So then you need to learn both. And but yeah, English works.
Zane, this is probably hopefully this is a brief period of conflict, in Europe. I would assume, based on the little, bit of research that Richard and I have done on Riga, that it's a very safe community. There wouldn't be issues or particular concerns that American parents would have about any, crime or anything of that nature that would be any different, for example, than what they would experience here in the United States. But just from having a conversation here in my own household about visiting the Baltics and Central Europe right now, there may be some concerns for American parents about the conflict. I assume the Baltics are completely untouched, other than the economic and trade impacts that the conflict may be having. But correct me if that's wrong.
No, you're completely right. Of course, economically, we can feel that because the gas and the petrol was coming from Russia. So now it's obviously available, but it costs more. So we are paying more for our fuel now, and the gas the same. But I just now came back from Sri Lanka. They're not affected, obviously, by war, but they don't have any petrol. They just the pure management of the country. And like, if you want to get the fuel, you need to queue 2 days and you are allowed to have 20 liters. So nothing like that happen here. And we don't see that, okay, we'll pay more, but it will be available here as well. We haven't experienced that. Like, as I said, we have Latvian population, we have Russian, and there haven't been any fights or any hate crime, or you don't see any of that. And in Riga, being a capital city, and we have many students as well from Asia, from Africa, and female students as well. The feedback we get that they feel safe here, even walking from old town of Riga city, coming across the bridge, coming to the dorms at 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. We haven't had any conflicts or anyone has been attacked or any fights like shooting you tend to have in US. Never ever happened in Latvia. Not a single case. There have been cases in Scandinavia or in UK, but in Latvia it's never happening throughout all of these years. And I'd say as well, being a smaller country and city as well organized, it's just easier to keep it safe. And students always felt safe because some of them think that it's maybe similar to Russia. It's nothing like Russia.
Okay, that will be very reassuring to American parents, and I think we could even say you have a net safety improvement, perhaps, leaving America, going to Latvia.
Because here as well, the weapons are not allowed. You are not allowed to have one. So here, that as well, like none of what you experience at your high schools or what have you, it's nothing like that. You can't imagine happening here.
Yeah, it's sort of ironic. I mean, the U.S. A lot of parents will be apprehensive about safety abroad, but Europe and Eastern Europe specifically is much lower crime than your typical American city, and it's by a massive difference. So yeah,
Mm.
that's just sort of confirms what we thought, but
Yeah.
good to hear.
As well, yeah, initially, of course, I think it was more like a shock when the war was announced, but now still, yeah, it's devastating what's happening there, but it's just dragging on. And what we've seen as well, that the initial wave was that people were leaving Ukraine, but now more people are returning than leaving. So there's like we hope that there'll be an end to the conflict as well
Yeah.
eventually. Of course, from the university side, we do a lot. We offer the 70% scholarship to all the Ukrainians. We have a huge increase from Ukraine application wise. It's like we used to get 20, now it's 200. It's huge
Wow.
numbers coming in from Ukraine. Yeah.
Zane, can you talk a little bit about your accreditation? So I assume you're accredited by the appropriate EU and European upper, uh, academic university level accrediting bodies. Do you find that the university degrees are widely accepted here in the United States? You have a formal kind of bilateral accrediting exchange with any university accreditation body here in the United States. Talk a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Because we are government owned, and we have the national accreditation, which is, well, yeah, that's by the local legislation that, but the national accreditation is done internationally. So that, yeah, every study program which we offer that is fully accredited and internationally recognized. As well, what we have done throughout these years, there are engineering qualifications, they require additional accreditation. So we have made the registration with the engineering bodies in specific countries, because every country they're called different, that our qualification is accepted. So the students, they just need to go, still register their degree certificate at that particular body, but they're not asked to pass any exams. It's literally the paperwork. They submit the papers from their side, and then that particular body is always sending requests to the university to verify that, and then they clear the engineering qualification and they are allowed to work. In Europe, it's a standard. We issue actually the degree certificate and the transcript. It's followed by Bologna. So it's a European qualification, and that is automatic recognition. But now additional verification is required as such. But our qualifications, many of our graduates as well, the ones which benefited from GI Bill benefits, they are back in US and working at the US in like electrical engineering graduates, which I keep in touch, and they never experienced any problems with the degree certificates themselves, that they all were recognized.
That's fantastic. Yeah, there are professional certification societies for engineers here in the United States, but the accrediting of American universities is more typically done by local or regional accreditation bodies, and then people kind of know the universities, and it sounds like any place where companies would be or other universities would be evaluating technical degrees, that they would be familiar with your accrediting bodies, and also probably familiar with the course of study there at RTU, and it sounds fantastic. So I would have to imagine not only accredited and regarded as sufficient, but also regarded very highly, most likely by technical experts here in the United States.
Yeah, because like we look at the employment rate of our graduates, that it's 98%. Literally, every engineering students, they get the job right away. Actually, we have a problem that especially IT students, that they want to get them off campus already second year of their studies. There's in Europe there's a shortage. I don't know how you're affected in US, but there's shortage of 300,000 engineers in all different fields. So the companies try to fetch our students. We are trying to keep them here on the campus. And but as for the employment, those who wanna work in the field they've been studying, they can go and start working right away. There's some who got their degree qualifications and realize that they ain't gonna be engineers and they go and do business or anything else, yeah, something different. That's there as well. That's dragging our statistics down, you know. But
that's
other
that
than
pesky
that,
2% that won't get
Yeah.
a job, those business people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the end, the biggest accreditor though that one has to worry about are human resources departments. And I suspect, I mean, in the end, just the initials, you know, BA or BS is sort of the driving consideration there. But
Well, Richard, do you have any other questions?
I have a brief tangent. I don't understand the Erasmus program very well, and I mean, I know that's something where you guys have internal exchanges within the within Europe for universities. Is that something that RTU participates in, or?
Yeah, and we promote that a lot as well, because Erasmus gives you the opportunity that you can go and study in another European university and receive a scholarship. Let's say that you come here for the master studies, you start your studies at the RTU for mechanical engineering, and then you'd like to spend some time, I don't know, in Italy, one semester. So you can apply to the Italian university, which is the RTU partner. It has to be our partner within Erasmus. We have 350 Erasmus partners across Europe. Pretty much any country, any city you want to go, we have a partner. The only requirement is that you have to be academically successful. So you need to clear your exams of the previous semesters here at the RTU. And that university to which you go to has to have similar program. So it's say if you are doing here mechanical engineering, then to the university you go to, you can't go and do music studies. It still has to be engineering related. And then you apply for the scholarship. You pay your tuition fee here at the RTU. You don't pay anything to that university you go to. Let's say you go to Politecnico di Milano, you don't pay anything to them. We from the RTU give you a scholarship, which is about 700 euros, which covers your living costs in Italy, pretty much. And you just go do your courses. You need to pass your courses and bring your transcript back to the RTU. And when we prepare your degree certificate, we will say that you study abroad in such and such university in Italy, and you pass these and these courses out there. And you can spend maximum 1 year on Erasmus. So you can even come to the Riga, spend 1 year here with us, do your second year as Erasmus somewhere, and then just come back here, present your thesis and receive your degree certificate. Because I always promote that as well, that to our Asian students, because for some reason they think there's lots of stereotypes